Here is the ideal solution for high-performance users who require mobility. This light, thin powerhouse delivers no compromised performance in a sub £5 form factor. Multi-bay enables device swapping for the right functionality when and where it is needed. So what on earth am I talking about? Well, a couple of videos ago, you saw me show you the Compaq ARmada E500 1GHz. Today, I'm going to show you the father of its cousin. Even though its cousin shares the same model name as its father, gonna get all tongue-tied now. Here is the Intel Pentium II based Compaq ARmada M700. And as you can possibly see, it shares the same lid design as the Compaq ARmada E500. I believe it was one of the first Armadas, if not the first, to actually use this beautiful design. So here we are then, the Compaq ARmada M700. Now, according to Compaq's website, this is an apparently, some of the ARmada M700's family's great features: ultra portable form factor between 1.95 and 2.27 kilograms and 2.8 centimeters thin. You can get them with, and you could originally buy them with the Intel Pentium II 400 MHz or 366 MHz processors, specified either with a 13.3 or a 14.1 inch TFT monitor, 1024 by 768 pixel display, magnesium alloy display case. So what was powering these things? Well, Dell's offering the Dell Latitude CPI-A. You had a Neomagic 256 AV graphics chipset. And while the Neomagic series graphics are fine for DOS gaming, they're actually quite brilliant at that, I must say. They don't really compare to what this thing's packing. Oh no. This thing has brought a rocket launcher to a knife fight. It's using a 2x AGP ATI Mobility P graphics. I don't know what the P stands for. Maybe it needs to go for one. I'm just guessing that, you know, if I see this computer approaching from the bathroom, it'll just be standard ATI Mobility graphics, not ATI Mobility P graphics. And these ATI Mobility P graphics have 8 megs of SD-RAM, and it's a 66 megahertz graphical bus. Really? So basically that means I'll be waiting all friggin' day for one, and three will come along at once. Now that's an old joke, but this one isn't. It'll probably go on strike, or it'll probably work to rule. Damn you, the Unite Union. In fact, don't bother. You've got probably a lot of my better interests at heart. Most unions do. It has 64 megs of SD-RAM, 298 megs maximum. Although, I'll talk about how much RAM this particular M700 has in a wee bit. Has multi-bay support for standard CD-ROM or DVD-ROM, or optional second battery, second hard drive, super disk, LS120, or weight saver. You have a full choice of operating systems, Windows 95 or Windows NT Workstation 4. Oh dear. Integrated 56K V90 modem is provided via Mini PCI. A new industry standard slot for communication devices. Common docking support. ARmada Station EM, ARmada Convenience Base EM, ARmada Port Replicator EM, and you have a 3-year worldwide limited warranty. Which, if I'm going to be honest, I think it's expired. So without further ado, I think it's time to take a look at this computer. Okay, so I've put a wee bit of light onto the situation. So let's take this for a ride. On the front, there's really not much there. I believe that's a hard disk carry. We just have ports for headphone and microphone sockets. I'm just going to move this table a wee bit back that my phone is on. I really do wish I had a full-size tripod, but don't. On the right-hand side, there's 2 PC card slots, 2 Type 2 or 1 Type 3, for those people who want to install those great, big, massive Zircon Ethernet adapters. And on the also on the right-hand side is a multi-bay, which is actually populated by a DVD-ROM drive. Now, you may notice that I didn't actually mention floppy disks there. And that's because in this chassis there is no floppy disk drive. You'll actually get to see that. So, also on the side is a 56K modem. But if you look here, looks like there's provisions for the network port. Although on this computer, one is not installed. So any network access will either have to be done through the modem or through a PC card. Won't find me complaining, that's how I used to do it at school. On the rear of the machine, you have an infrared port, RS-232 serial port, VGA port for an external display, just in case you want to use this machine's graphical prowess for a wee bit of gaming and you prefer CRT monitors, because let's be honest, which real gamer doesn't? You have the docking station port for all those docking stations Compaq would sell you, IEEE 1284 parallel port, single USB port, and a PS2 mouse and keyboard port. Now if we move around to the other side, there is a composite out port for composite out video, should you want that. And then there's a Kensington lock slot. And, well, there's a vent. There's a vent to the left of the Kensington lock slot, and then some sort of a vent to the right of it. So, like I said, there is no floppy drive on this unit. But back in 1999, when these things first hit the shelves, floppy disks were the way to do things. You didn't have flash drives, or if you did, they would have been very expensive. And while they may have held, more than a floppy drive, nobody had heard of them. They were the stuff of tomorrow's world. In fact, I don't even think they were around in 1999. They certainly weren't as compact as they are today. However, you could get a floppy disk drive unit. And I have one. Now what this is a regular multi-bay floppy drive, something that Compaq neglected to mention. But I believe you can get these because it did say something about you being able to do it on the 7400 floppy drive unit, which is obviously being incorrectly fit, hence why that edge is a wee bit cockeyed, if you will. And basically what this is, I mean, this is just a regular multi-bay floppy drive in a caddy, and it has an interface cable which connects to the multi-bay connector on the back of the floppy drive and plugs into a standard parallel port. Now I have tested this out and this does work absolutely fine. So that's how you would have played it back in the days. So let's open the machine up then. I'm not too sure, I could be wrong. I think this is a 13.3 inch model because it does have quite a bezel, although I could, like I said, I could be wrong. This machine has no trackpad. It just has a track point with 2 mouse buttons. But unfortunately, you've got to hit them a certain way. They're probably pretty worn out. You actually literally have to hit them in the middle, towards the middle of the button shelf. And then there is another button there which will act as a middle click button, which allows for scrolling or anything which requires a middle click. For example, The Sims 3, which of course will not run on this machine. The keyboard is a bit of a strange affair, because while most have 3 lots of 4 keys, 4 function keys, this has 2 lots of 6. So it can be a wee bit difficult if you're used to pressing, a certain key. For example, F4. F4 would be at the end of the first set, but suddenly you find yourself pressing Alt F6. But I mean, this does have the typical light grey keyboard against a black or flannel grey chassis that ARmadas have had since, well, for quite some time actually, since the Pentium I era. I mean, the 4131T has it, and actually the Concerta Aeros had it before that. The Concerta Aero 4/33C had it. That particular colour scheme. So, I'll turn the flashback off and let's plug it in and power it on. Now, I can't fully remember whether Blue Planet 64 viewers actually got to see this laptop last year. However, we're going to switch it on now for the first time on Video Sans Frontières. So the CMOS battery has gone on this system, and while later Compaqs wouldn't insist on a full RAM count, this one does, and it does take quite a while. Now you might be wondering, what is this going to count up to? And the answer to that is, well, let's just see. It counts up to 131,072 kilobytes, which in megabytes is 128. So, as I discovered with the big Compaq ARmada E500, this thing will practically tell you its birthday, or at least it'll tell you not only the BIOS RAM date, but the keyboard controller date. And I take the keyboard controller date to be the system's date of birth, as it were. keyboard controller date is the 23rd of July 1999. I remember what I was doing that day. It was actually the last day of term, and I'd been looking forward to it for such a long time. I believe 1999's summer holidays were actually a wee bit shorter. Because, well, actually no they weren't, because it was the 7th of September when we went back. How's about that for a nasty memory? So this is a machine of the 90s. They continued to sell M700s into the 2000s, and they actually did refresh the model range by adding the option of getting Pentium III, well, a Pentium III processor. But like I said, I mean, the later M700s, if you wanted a wee bit more in your laptop, you wanted a wee bit more expandability, a wee bit more power, you could always go for its bigger brother, the ARmada E500. But the M700 was always kind of designed to be more of a notebook. You know, more of a portable machine. Not ultra portable like the M300s or the V300s or the Evo N400Cs or anything like that. Just kind of portable, you know, and on that front, they actually did quite well. So, as you can possibly see, I've actually installed Windows 98 on mine. And now it's going to tell me that the daylight savings time has changed. It hasn't, it's just the computer has forgotten the time because the CMOS battery is dead. Thanks. As we've learnt with the E500, CMOS batteries are replaceable, and I did actually replace the CMOS battery in the big E500, the 1GHz model. I'd like to replace it in the 733 MHz model as well. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the time. What time it is? Today is the 3rd of July 2013, and the time is 4:21. And the fact that you can't actually type the year in there, you've got to literally scroll up. Actually, for me, I think it's actually easier to set the date and time using MS-DOS. So well done, Microsoft. You've made it more difficult. Well, maybe easier to use for some people, but more cumbersome. There we go. So on this machine, this Windows 98, and last year when I installed it, I did give it quite a helping of software. There's Clam1 Antivirus, Chameleon, the web browser. So I will have been using this on the internet at some point. In fact, I was, because I've got pictures of this machine on the internet. Office 2000, Microsoft Work Suite 2000, an old version of WinRAR, and tonight, while I've been having a bit of a play about with it, setting up some things for this video, I've installed the USB mass storage device driver for Windows 98, and I've also installed Hot Wheels Stunt Driver, a game that I saw Lazy Game Reviewer playing, and I thought I fancied a go. So, you know, I finally got to have a wee shotty of it tonight. Worksweet 2000, I think, a good thing to go with this laptop, seeing as it's from 1999. No, I am being serious here, because Worksweet...
Welcome to Money 2000.
Thank you. Microsoft Office 2000 came out in 1999. I remember reading an article about it in Computer Active in April 99. Office came out in 1999. Worksuite 2000 will have... I'm not sure when that came out, but it will have certainly come out in time. Well, certainly the latter half of 99. So, I mean, there's Worksuite on this machine. So, this has got some quite good speakers. Not as good as the E500s, but still pretty good nonetheless. So, what I'm going to do... It's an ESS something or other. It's an ESS Maestro 2, I believe. So let's give it the old Canyon test. And let me boost that volume up a wee bit. Well, would you look at that? I can actually get this working with drivers from Compaq's website, rather than having to dance a fandango in Honolulu, Hawaii, to be able to get hold of some drivers for the to do MIDI support on something such as the Dell Latitude CPI-A, which of course was the competitor to this machine. But the Dell Latitude CPI-A was using a Yamaha chipset. Oh dear, I forgot to put the disc in. Oops. That's a wee bit embarrassing, so it is. Right, let me get... Found the disc. It seemed my phone wanted to save me any undue embarrassment because it conveniently ran out of memory because, yeah. That's not my CD-ROM drive. Will this even work? Oh, that's nice. I put the disc in, and it spits me unceremoniously back to the desktop. Probably because it's looking for a beige desktop CD-ROM drive and not for a black laptop CD drive. There we go. So, this game is kind of special because it uses full motion video in the background rather than actual rather than 3D modelling an environment. I don't want a car whose drivability is only so-so. That would be a stupid thing to do now, wouldn't it? What? See what I mean? I mean, these things, they do not handle, and yeah, and I'm just terrible. What on earth? Oh, hey, I landed that on that. Oh, see what I mean? Spin off it. Slightest thing, see? Seriously? However, that does not stop this being a very fun game. It's basically a video game version of basically what we all used to do in our childhood in the 90s. Basically cars. If we were lucky, we'd have tracks. And it's brilliant. Kind of when it kind of got that you're a wee bit too old to be playing with toy cars, you could just play with the broom booms on the computer and do it wrong, like this. Yeah, yay, boom, boom, boom. Aw, yeah. Easy does it now. Oh. Classy. Seriously. Oh yeah, and this is where it inexplicably crashes on this system. I don't know what gives with that. I mean, I kind of found the mouse pointer, and without the mouse pointer, you really can't do anything. You can't even get out the game. You can't even control or delete it. To be honest, I think this Windows 98 installation's a wee bit derped anyway. Okay, we're actually going to try Putt Putt Joins the Parade, see if it'll play it. So now we're doing the CD-Rom drive test. We're testing my CD-Rom drive in the Compaq ARmada M700 for pure grit and determination to see if it has what it takes to be a CD-Rom drive.
I'm Papa.
How's that working out for you?
Going on my adventure. Ready to go.
What? You need it quiet, no? Loud? Well, at least... Oh dear. Seems to be skipping an awful lot. What's it doing exactly? The double Dutch? Forget it. This Windows 98 installation needs reinstallated. But apart from that, I mean, I think it's a brilliant laptop. The only real fault I can actually say is, apparent with this machine is, like I said, the left mouse button is, it's kind of seen better days. And I'm sad to say that this is a trait that you would actually start to see in newer Compaq machines, But I wouldn't have expected HP to fix that. Oh, now it's working. But then again, having said that, I mean, the Evo N400C has a dodgy left mouse button as well, so, it's, just a bit of a shame that, this fault kind of started, so far back, and, I've seen a lot of, even, like, new Vista era, well, kind of, when I say new, newer than this, Vista era HP Compaqs with a saggy mouse button. I didn't realise that it had started when Compaq were still themselves, Does disappoint me a wee bit, because, Compaqs are, generally quite good build quality. But I mean, so, how do I think this compares to its competitors? This seems to be a thing now. This is a thing. The competitors to this machine were the Dell Latitude CPI-A and the ThinkPad 600. Well, 600E. Well, I've got to be honest. The ThinkPad 600E probably had the upper hand with build quality. However, the Dell Latitude CPI-A, I'm afraid to say it's kind of left me non-impressed, really. It seems to be the a wee bit of a fly in the ointment, does the CPI-A. Because, I mean, the CP is a very good machine. The CPI is a very good machine. CPI-A is, I don't know, just that wee bit odd. And I don't really know how to kind of best describe it. It's not a bad machine by any stretch of the imagination, and if you use one, you know, I'm sure for business use it was fantastic. It's just, you know, trying to get MIDI support, drivers that actually support MIDI from Dell's website. If you lost a CD, you know, that can be a bit of a pain. And yeah, I don't know. You know, next to the ThinkPad and the M700, you know, I really, really do believe that, you know, the CPI-A didn't look as sleek. But then again, having said that, I do like the look of the Dell Latitude C series quite a lot. But, you know, I mean, if you're wanting, you know, if back in the day you were wanting a laptop, you wanted it to be portable, but you wanted it to have a wee bit of graphical prowess, you'd have went for the M700. If you wanted nothing but brilliant build quality, you went for the ThinkPad. In this case, I would say that the Dell Latitude CPI-A really didn't have much to play on. It's a bit of a shame, is that? But as for this ThinkPad M700, I'm going to reinstall Windows on it. It's got a 6GB hard drive. I might put Office 97 on it, I'm not decided yet. But, you know, I mean, I do like this machine. If at some point, you know, I get enough money, I would like to replace the left mouse button, kind of restore it back to how it should be. Certainly give it a good cleaning over. I think it needs that. Yeah. So anyway, that does conclude this video. If you liked what you saw, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. If you want to subscribe to my channel, instructions on how to do so, well, the channel URL will follow soon. But if you've not already done so, while you're on my channel, please feel free to watch some previous episodes. And I hope you'll all join me for my next video. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.